Oh, apa?
It's 9:30. We'll start the preamble. You ready? Have them read the preamble then? Or whenever you're ready. No. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Board of Zoning Appeals for this Monday, September 25th. We'll begin with Ms. Kukla reading the preamble.
Thank you. Morning, my name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this Monday, September 20th. Those of you on the phone and or remotely. In compliance with notification requirements of the State Open Meeting Law, Section 101.021 of the Codified Ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions are the purview of the City Planning Department conducts its meeting according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest will be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on desktop and mobile version, and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also utilize the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note that call-in users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activities being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak in our particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak in our particular matter have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comments for a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Would you like to go over any postponements or withdrawals?
Would you like me to call the roll first?
Yes, that would be great.
Ms. Olson?
Present.
Ms. Roca?
Present.
Ms. Bates?
Present.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum with 3 members. For the appellants that are here today with 3 members, you must have a unanimous vote for the decision to pass. If you do not receive the unanimous vote, then the case is denied and the decision of building and housing remains the same. So you do have the opportunity, you can request a postponement at this time until we have 5 members. I believe that'll be sometime in October, the second week, I think, in October. So let us know. I don't know if you want them to let us know right now, or do you want them to, when their case is called?
Well, if anyone is in that situation right now, we'll allow them to leave because they don't need to hang around.
Sure, so if there's anybody on the call, please raise your hand. If there's anybody in the room, please raise your hand if you'd like to postpone your case at this time.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move forward.
You have the agenda with the trail, that's the first one.
Yeah, that's on that.
Yes,
This is the.
we have Councilman Harrison on mowing though.
Oh, okay. So you can take his first. Maurice, I do have photos, the hard copy photos if you would like
Oh.
us to show them.
You need
But
these,
that's not
Maurice?
for Councilman Harrison's case, that's not
If I
different
can
case.
sit up, I don't have, apparently there was an updated agenda that I never got.
Okay,
Is
All
it
right.
the updated agenda?
Yeah, with the Detroit on this one. This is one of the cases that we had to
Okay.
squeeze on that.
any postponements or withdrawals?
Oh, we do have one withdrawal. Thank you, Madam Chair. That's calendar number 23-126, 12808 Buckeye Road. That case has been withdrawn. The applicant no longer wants to seek the variance to change use to auto repair.
Okay,
And that's all that we have for postponements and withdrawals.
Okay. Anything that we're hearing together?
So,
What's
oh
11?
yeah, we do have, yeah. What's 11? Those two are in
Okay.
the same ownership and next to each other.
Okay, we have some folks that were here for a case when we didn't have a quorum. I believe I mentioned the caveat that day is if we have a council person present, they move as a courtesy, we move them to the front of the agenda. We have Councilman Hairston with us today, so we'll be taking that case first.
Oh, and
Okay, we'll take that case next. All right, so, Ms. Holzer, then we'll be beginning with calendar number 23-133.
Sounds good. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Our first case is calendar number 23-133. This is at 1750 Hillview Road. The Safe Shelter Group LLC proposes to use an existing single-family residence for a maximum of 5 people residential care facility in a B12 family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And this case was originally postponed from August 14th at the request of the councilman to allow time for the appellant to meet with the councilman. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
Maurice.
It's in your book, huh?
Oh. Well, all right, I can see it now.
Okay.
All right, we'll start with individuals on the call. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, say I do, state your name, please spell it, and your address. Go ahead, the person with their hand up. Oh, there are 2 people with their hand up.
I do. Denise Hall. My address is 22300 Harms Road, Richmond Heights, Ohio, 44143.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. And then the next person?
This is Edward Bixler. I'm at 11219 Detroit Avenue. I do.
Thank you. Anybody else on the call?
Councilman Anthony Hairston. I do, 601 Lakeside, Cleveland, Ohio.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the room today for this case? Okay, sir, if you could come up and you can have a seat. You just want to raise your hand, state I do, state your name and your address.
I do. My name is Curtis Montgomery, address 1738 Hillview Road.
All right, thank you very much. Madam Chair, back to you.
Great, thank you. Who's going to be the spokesperson for this case?
Madam Chair, would you like the history?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Madam Chair, there's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our records administration, we found that in 1954, permit was issued to convert from a 4-family to a 2-family. There are no variances on file, and in the more recent history, we found that in 2013, a permit was issued for residential board up issued to the property, and in 2021, a permit was issued to rebuild the foundation. And that's all that I have for a little bit.
Great. Do we have someone doing legal standard?
I can see Jason.
Jason's with us, okay.
Hello,
Great.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellants requesting a use variance and an area variance from the minimum distance requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, now, do we have a spokesperson for this case?
My name is Denise Hall. I'm the property owner and the owner of the Safe Shelter Group. I've been working on this project for 3 years. I started back 2020 around COVID. My goal when I bought the house was to have it redistricted, rezoned as a residential care facility because I know that there's a need. I have quite a few friends that run these type of residents, and through discussion with them, I know that there is a need for safe shelter for people with development disabilities and veterans. And so in order to fulfill that need, when I found out that I was going to be retiring and I needed extra income, I decided to purchase this building. Once I purchased the building and tried to get it rehabbed, the foundation did fall down and I had to have the foundation rebuilt, and I actually had to get all the rooms, done, painted, the walls fixed and things of that nature. The property has been ready since, let's say, May of this year. I've just been waiting on rezoning so I could move forward with my plans. At one point after the foundation fell, I went into a depression because I was pumping money into it, and it seemed like once the foundation fell, that was just overwhelming to me. But I decided to move forward with the project because I tried to sell the property and I couldn't get an offer on it. And I wanted to realize my dream. Are there any
Okay.
questions?
There are, Ms. Hall. So typically in these situations, you're asking for five people? Is that what your intention is?
Yes,
Okay,
at least
5
5
people.
a month, yes.
And how many bedrooms are there?
Okay, it's 5 bedrooms, it's 3 bathrooms, it's 3 floors. The third floor has a full bathroom and 2 bedrooms. The second floor has 3 bedrooms and a full bathroom. The first floor does not have any qualifying bathrooms, but it does have a full any qualifying bedrooms, but it does have a full bathroom. And the basement is not going to be used.
Okay. And I think you alluded to the fact that you were looking for veterans. Is that it?
I
Can
was
you-
initially, but then I decided that I'm just going to go with the state instead of the state DODD, the county, instead of moving with the veterans.
Okay,
After I
so
did-
give us the demographics, the gender, age range, what the situation is with these people.
Okay. So my demographics would be over 50 men with minimal, let's say, disabilities. They'll all be mobile because I only have bedrooms on the second and third floor. They'll all be mobile, but they will be able to operate in the community. And I don't want anyone that's severely disabled. And it's
Are
a
you
ho-
ex-
Go
Are
ahead.
they gonna be able to go to work?
Yes, yes. My facility would just be for it's gonna be a group home atmosphere with 5 men that I take care of and another staff member. We will be providing them, meals every day, a safe place to live. I have cameras on the property to make sure that they're secure. They're secure, and they have some will be on medication, and some possibly won't be, or there'll be minimal medication.
And will you be dispensing the medication? Or will they be
Yes,
taking
I
it
assist.
themselves?
Yeah, they take their own, but you just assist them with it. You don't actually give it to them. They're able to do all of these things. They just need a safe place to live.
Okay, are they gonna have vehicles?
Normally they don't. They're what happens is that their SA, which is their administrator, which we call like a social worker, they usually take them places if needed.
So if they're working, they'll be using public transport.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
They usually
right.
do not have vehicles.
okay. Councilman Hairston, typically the council people like to speak last. Do you want to wait until we have other questions from the board, or do you want to make a statement now?
Yes, I'll wait to the end.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right, board, any questions or comments?
Just one question for Ms. Hall with regard to the parking. It looks like there might be spaces in the back of the house. Is that accurate?
Yes,
So if the residents do have cars, they can park back there?
yes.
How many spaces are available in the back of the house?
At least the area is large enough for at least 3 cars.
Okay. And then I think I heard you say there'll be another staff member with you as well, just you and one other staff member? Will someone be on the property all the time?
The state does not require that someone is there all the time, but during the day hours, somebody will be there all the time. During the day, let's say like from 9 to 9, even on the weekends. But no one has to stay there overnight. And my home is like 8 minutes from this residence.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Holzer, anything?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks again. Ms. Hall, I'm curious what conversations you've had with your neighbors about this project.
I had some wonderful conversations with my neighbors. They all are on board and they don't have a problem with me opening up a residential care facility. As a matter of fact, they thought that was a great idea. And the conversations I had with them was telling them the type of people that I would have there. I told them about my background and how the facility would be ran. And I tried to give them an idea of, what's going to be happening on a day-to-day so that they can feel safe too. The conversations was basically to let them know that it's going to be a safe environment. No, because I can choose. That's one thing that's so beautiful about Cuyahoga County is that I could choose the people that I accept in the residential care facility. And so I was telling them that I would be sure I'm not going to choose anybody that I wouldn't want living next door to me. That's basically what it is.
Thank you. All right. we
Plus,
have
I
Mr.
have to be in the house, so I have to think of my safety too. Plus I have to
Right.
be there too.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. We have Mr. Montgomery here with us at the table.
Yes.
Yes. And would you like to make a statement, sir?
No, I just came in support of the project. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, super. We have Mr. Montgomery in support of the project. So that brings us to you, Councilman Hairston.
All right. Good morning, board. Good morning, everyone. How are you all this morning?
Good.
Good. Thank you all for being here and doing this morning. Here in support of the project. I know that Ms. Hall, one of the first conversations and communication that was had is that, as Ms. Holzer asked, is that she connects with the neighbors around the property. And that's the first thing that I ask applicants to do is to go and talk to the neighbors without me. Go talk to the neighbors, talk to the residents yourself. So that way they can be honest with you, you can be honest with them, and you all can have a a good conversation, and I believe that that has happened. She did provide some signatures to our office to show where people on the street did sign in support of the project. This is the first time I'm hearing that the home would serve folks with developmental disabilities, because it was my initial understanding that it was going to be veterans who would be in the home, which I'm fine with developmental disabilities, but I'm glad to hear that the individuals who will be in the house will just, there will be a focus, right? And not just, anyone that walks in off the streets that you really don't have any information about. I believe that the folks with developmental disabilities, I'm sorry.
That's all
This
right.
would be a great, caught up with all the D's. And so that would be a great population to serve as they, need more support here throughout our communities. The only other question that I forgot to ask was the third floor that is being used for a living area. Is that a legal third floor? I know that it was once a two-family, but is that third floor a legal third floor? Because I believe that you said it was a bathroom up there on the third floor as well.
It's a legal third floor. It has windows that go down. It has several windows. If you look at the picture, it has a full bathroom. I just have to make sure that when I meet with the fire and safety, that I dot all my I's and cross all my T's. That's it. And I have been talking to them.
Okay, because that's important. That's a legal third floor. Third floor normally should have is an exit, some way they can escape, if there's a fire or anything on the third floor. So once you have that, and this is to the board and to Ms. Hall, once you have that information, I like to see that to ensure that it's actually a legal third floor. So that way, all bases are covered. Other than that, I'm fine. She did express, and also a partner of hers did express that there will not be 24-hour folks on site, but they will be there from morning to late into the evening time at the property, and from Monday through Sunday. And so I was fine with that, as long as there were some cameras on site that they can access and view to make sure that the property is secure, that there's no unwanted guests on the property that shouldn't be there as well. And then I believe, Ms. Hall, that there will not be any sex offenders that would be on site as well, correct?
Correct.
Okay. To the board, to Ms. Hall, thank you. Nothing further from myself.
Great. Thank you, Councilman. You raised
Thank you.
several good points there.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
City planning, you want to weigh in?
City planning, I would have to echo the councilman's comments. The fact that she engaged the neighbors and got very good positive response from them. We know there's a definite need in the neighborhood, and so we would support this application.
Excellent.
Although I would request the same condition that councilman did for additional details on egress from the third floor.
Third floor, right, exactly. So that would be a condition of the motion, whoever is crafting that, and I will entertain a motion at this moment.
I can do it.
Excellent, Ms. Pulsar.
Yeah. So, having heard testimony from the appellant, the neighbor who's in support of the project, the councilman, I move, and city planning, I move approval of calendar number 23-133 with the condition that drawings or plans be submitted showing verification or documentation that it is a legal third floor.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Ms. Kukla?
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. B?
Yes.
Calendar number 23-133 is granted conditionally. We'll hold ratification until we receive those documents regarding the third floor. Once we receive those, we will ratify it the following Monday, and we'll send you a letter.
Thank you, Ms. Hell. Good luck to you.
Thank you. I just have one question.
Yes.
So how do I get documentation to show that it's a legal third floor? Is this somebody I need to contact, or is it just gonna go through the fire and safety?
I think she just has to show the egress, right?
Right, you just need to show the egress.
It's not, but
I don't know, she has one, so.
I have, it's a door on the third floor on the back of the house that is with a fire escape.
Okay,
I think we just need documentation of that.
yeah, that should be included in your plans. And you'll
Okay.
submit that to Ms. Kukla. Okay?
Spell that last name, is it on here?
Kukla.
Aukla. Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh, all right. Okay, we have Councilwoman Santana with us, so we'll take calendar number 23-157 next.
Got it. Our next case is calendar number 23-157. This is at 3929 Daisy Avenue. Walter Gatchuk proposes to construct a 3-story wood frame garage with storage on the 2nd floor and deck on 3rd floor in a B12 family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
Good morning.
I just
All right,
want to build a new.
we'll start with individuals on the phone. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand. Reply with I do. State your name and your address. Is there anyone on the call? No? Okay, we'll start with you.
I, Councilwoman Jasmine Santana, do swear.
Thank you, sir.
I do. Kurt Weaver, 2008 Valentine Avenue. I do. Walter Gachuk, 3929 Daisy Avenue.
Can you spell your last name, sir?
Gachuk.
Gachuk.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, sir, can I have your name?
Kurt Weaver.
Thank you.
Yeah, they gave us the same name tag. Well, Kurt today.
Oh,
I don't know, but I'm
Oh, I
Walter.
see
That's
that.
Kurt.
I think the computer was down at the
Yeah,
gate.
it's fine. I'm not Kurt. That's it.
All right, Madam Chair, back to you.
All right, great. History of the property?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. We didn't find anything in our records administration office. There are no variances on file and nothing of note in the more recent history. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, legal standard, please.
Alrighty. Legal standard. Madam Chair, members of the board, applicant is requesting area variances from the maximum floor area and height requirement of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you. All right. I assume you're going to be the spokesperson?
I can start. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Councilwoman. So Mr. Gachek requested replacement of his existing garage and asked that we consider that we would add a 2nd floor because of his circumstance being relatively snug. The home, his existing home, is a 2-family home where the basement is shared with the other tenant for laundry access and other types of infrastructure that doesn't allow him to use the basement the way he might otherwise use the basement to store and warehouse things that he needs space for. So we crafted the garage replacement as a storage warehouse, that 2nd floor.
Can I just interrupt real quick? I bought the house in 2003. I was single. I'm now married. I have 3 kids and I'm out of storage space. It's kind of the long and short of that. So.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right,
Sorry, Kurt.
go ahead.
So to clarify, in seeing opportunity in creating a flat roof that would allow us to have a roof deck on that, what would be the 3rd floor. So that's how the square footage area accumulates as it does. We're really 2 floors with that taking advantage of the roof deck as an opportunity. Similarly, relative to the height issues, our height ends up at the 27'6" or 27'8" because of that staircase access, which in a building circumstance would be referred to as an architectural feature and wouldn't count against our overall height.
What's the height of the house?
The height of the roof is at 19 feet. And then when you add the parapet walls for the roof deck, it goes to 22'7".
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
See, what's the height of the house?
Yeah, what's the height of the house?
The height of the house is, boy,
Gotta be every bit of 38,
let's go 9, 18, 19, 20.
so 12,
I'm
12.
right in round terms, probably 32 feet.
Okay, cool.
I don't have anything else.
All right, that's fine. All right, do we have setback on here as well?
We do. The existing garage is 4 feet off the rear yard line and 2 feet off the east line. We maintained the 2-foot dimension and we moved back a foot, so we're 3 feet off the rear line.
Okay, so you maintained the same footprint on the east,
Correct,
so you're still at 2,
correct,
and we're just going to 3 foot off the rear instead of 4.
correct.
Okay,
And our footprint calculation is wrong on the drawings, so it's, the existing is in the neighborhood of,
The delta is 76 feet. We're going 76 feet bigger, 2 foot in the west and north direction.
okay.
But they pretty much the same footprint.
And the distance from the house to the garage?
we were sensitive to that because it's a 2-car garage and that access point through the corner of the house, and there's a downspout there and all those kinds of things that are vulnerable that way. So we only come forward an additional foot from where the existing garage. It's about 26 feet from the garage to the corner of the house.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to make your statement last, which is typical of council people?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Board, do you have any questions or comments?
I think I just want to clarify, it looks like 2 feet from the property line to the facing the adjacent, or, well, I guess are 2.
On the east
On the
side.
east side.
Yeah, it remains 2 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's unchanged. It's just the rear setback.
Okay.
So we're
okay.
losing a foot, so 3,
Right. So this is 3, this is 2.
correct? Yeah. Got it. And then we have 26
From here
here
to here.
to here.
Okay.
So that's good. All right. All right, would you like to make your statement?
You know, I actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Ms. Holster needs to chime in. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
I just want to clarify to the appellant, so the purpose of the space is storage. It's not additional living space. It's purely just additional storage above the garage.
Correct.
Thank you.
And I have another question. Just we're doing stairs, exterior or interior?
Interior stair,
Interior stairs, just run a straight flight?
straight up, straight up.
Okay, all right. No heating up there?
Nope.
Okay, all right.
Storm connection and power.
And sure, yeah, okay. All right,
Thank you,
Councilwoman.
Madam Chair and board members. It's a pleasure to be here. And I have to say and comment, it's so great to see women on the other side of it. I have to throw that in there. But,
All women were.
Yeah, we are girl power here at Post.
Yes. You did? Yeah, I love it. So Resident Gaychuk, he's very involved in the neighborhood. And so he is someone that wants to always add value to our area and our neighborhood. So it's not common that I get these type of requests, and it's such a beautiful garage. So when he did show me the layout and the drawings, I was just, very supportive of it. I did talk to Ms. Kukla, and she mentioned that a notice was sent to residents.
Mhm.
And I don't believe that we received any objections, which is something that I always look forward to. He's very involved in the community. He talks to the residents. I think everyone's pretty excited that this is going up in the neighborhood. Once again, we're getting new development in our area, so people are finally fixing their homes. So for me, I am very supportive of this project, and really just congratulate him if this does get approved.
Typically these sorts of projects become a catalyst for other
Yes.
people. So they'll be like, oh, well, he has a new garage,
And that's what, I
Yeah.
think that's why I'm very supportive of it, because once people start seeing this, I know they're gonna get the questions like, how could I get mine? And it'll start. And it's, Jones Home area is an area that it's increasing in property value. So we are seeing more like significant investment. It's a historic area. So I just think that the model, that he's putting together would just work very well with the fabric of our neighborhood.
Excellent, great. And thank you for coming, because we haven't seen you in person.
I know.
so-
I told him, I'm like, and I have committee right now, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this because once again, I really believe in a project that others will kind of start mimicking. So
Right,
pretty exciting.
yeah, great, good to have your support. Do we have any other communication?
I would just say for the record that we did not receive any communications, no
Okay.
negative communications.
Great. And to you, Mr. Rowlands?
Madam Chair, Maurice Jordan, City Planning. My only concern was the height of the garage proposed by you, it was, 22 feet just to the top of the parapet wall, of course, going up to 27.5 feet, so, with the stair tower in there, that was my main concern. It's going to tower over all other garages in the neighborhood, which max out at 15 feet.
Mm-hmm.
But with, apparently none of the neighbors are concerned, and the councilwoman, is supportive, we would have no objections to the garage.
I noted that as well, but I think it's, we're at 19, then the parapet, so I think that's, hopefully maybe setting a new precedent or something for that.
But it also felt like an ADU when we first looked at this, but with the
Right.
applicant saying that it's not gonna be, and schools are asking that question.
Exactly.
And just to
Okay.
Which,
clarify,
and not that we're against an ADU at all, it's just that it would kick in, if it was an ADU, it would kick in different
Right.
zoning requirements, would have to be further from Escastor, Weaver, and elsewhere, further from the property lines and things like that. Actually, we're very much in support of those.
Right,
I'm
we'll
sorry,
change
what
it,
is it?
Accessory dwelling units. Sorry.
yeah. Okay,
and just for the appellant, in response to Mr. Rowland's comment, the need for your height, if you could just, you're gonna be higher than the rest of the garages in the neighborhood, but you need that for storage, is that our understanding?
Yes.
Okay,
So with the 3 kids, we go over the top with Halloween decorations, Christmas decorations. I am to the gills with storage. I've got nowhere to put anything. And I really just I need somewhere to put it. And I went to a deck on the roof, typical gable. It's kind of wasted space, and I just thought it'd be cool just to have a deck up there. If we ever wanted to sit out, watch the Blue Angels fly by or whatever.
exactly, that's exactly what I was
Use
thinking.
the space wisely,
okay,
Okay,
And I have won the neighborhood award for the best decoration. So when I say we go over the top, we go over the top.
yeah, all
What
right,
it's all
great.
about, the kids.
Okay, anything else, board?
no,
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
all right, after hearing the testimony from the appellant, the councilwoman, also noting comments from the city, I move that we approve calendar number 23-157. With no conditions.
Exactly. Ms. Holzer, would you like to second?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
All right, thank you. Okay, Ms. Cooper, you want to call the roll?
Okay, Ms. Holzer,
Yes.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Bates.
Yes.
Calendar number 23-157 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday and we will send you a letter. Please feel free to contact us on Wednesday next week. It may be better for you to come pick up.
Thanks for taking
time out of your
day. Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
week.
Take
Well,
care.
we may swing by to see the Halloween decoration.
We actually, because I have a tenant on the first floor, now we turn our driveway into like, I used to turn the first floor into a haunted house so that people have to come in. Now I do the driveway as like a haunted gauntlet. It's. My kids, we used to go trick or treating. I told them like, since we decorate to the 9, why don't we just get in costume, hide amongst the decorations, scare people when they come and get candy. So we'll trick and we'll treat them. It is a riot. We have a great time.
Watch your, yeah, they have
Yeah.
a little bit of a hazard.
Yeah, I
here.
don't know. We have a snake king feeling today for some reason.
Just, yeah, we'll have
Actually,
to,
that might be, yeah.
that's probably better, actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks.
you get extra points for this.
Exactly, yeah.
I saw you duck when you came in.
Yeah, those of us
Yeah.
that are vertically challenged don't have to worry, but
I think
you
the
know.
duct tape failed, and
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
I'll be contacting building maintenance.
there we go. All right, thank you.
Thanks. Have a great week.
All right, any other council people that have popped in?
No, I didn't see anything.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna loop back to calendar number 23-146. This is our case that was postponed from September 11th.
Should I come out since I'm supporting?
You might as well be supportive.
Thank you for pushing this up a couple weeks from the proposed October 9th. I'm very appreciative. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. We were glad that we could make the accommodation for you.
Me too, thank you. This has
So-
been my first time doing this. It's been a very exercise in patience.
It sometimes is, yes, this is true. Okay, all right. Would you like to
Do we need to?
statement? Pardon?
Madam Chair,
Is
would you like me to
You ready?
read the case?
Pardon?
Would you like me to read the case in?
Yeah, are you ready?
I am. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Our next case is calendar number 23-146. This is at 11221 Detroit Avenue. Michael Tartaglia and Edward Bixler, owners, and Justin McCrocklin propose to establish a tattoo shop in a C2 local retail business district. The owners appeal for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. This case was postponed from September 11th due to a lack of quorum. No testimony was taken at that time. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
Thank you.
All right, and do we have, well, I'll start with individuals on the phone. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand. Reply with I do, state your name and your address. Is there anyone on the call? No? All right, I'll start with you, ma'am.
Tracy Skorupski, Skourupski. And my address is 4204 West 50th Street, and I do.
Thank you. Sir?
I do. Name is Justin McCrocklin. Address is 4204 West 50th Street, 44144. And earlier on the first case, Ed, the owner, was on there.
Okay.
It-
Oh, I
it
see.
said that-
He's still
so-
there.
Swore into the wrong
He swore
case.
into the wrong case,
Okay.
okay.
So I just wanted to say that he's there, and if not, I have a notarized letter.
Okay, well, Mr. Bixler, looks like it is, we'll swear you in for this case since you do have to be sworn in for the case. So if you want to take yourself off mute, there you go. And just state your name. Go ahead.
Edward Bixler, 11219 Detroit Avenue. I do.
Thank you. That's her.
Eddie Nabum Jr., 11228 Detroit Avenue. I do.
Can you spell your last name?
Nabong, Nabong.
Thank you. Madam Chair, is there anyone else? No? Okay, back to you.
Right, excellent. Excuse me. All right, we did not take testimony on September 11th because we did not have a quorum.
Not
So-
history, no history either.
Yeah, nothing. So we'll do history.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This property was originally zoned general retail in 1929. 1968, it was changed to local retail business districts. In our records administration office, we did not find anything of note. And then, Madam Chair, there are no variances on file and nothing of note really in the recent history.
All right, thank you. Legal standard, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. Appellant is requesting a use variance and an area variance from the minimum distance requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting of the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or building in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you so much. All right, who's going to be the spokesperson? You are, Jason?
Justin.
Jeff?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, okay.
It's okay. I've been going through it my whole life. Every J name but mine.
So go ahead and tell us what you plan to do.
Well, this is year 19 of my tattoo career this month, actually.
Okay.
I moved here a few years ago from Chicago, my girlfriend and I. Those are pictures of the shop I currently work at in Oberlin. I gave to some idea of like how our storefront looks inside, how it's presentable, it's clean, nice clean waiting area, privacy screens up for privacy.
In between each.
See right there, you can see it. Like, so in between each stations, we have
Okay.
dividers. I also have researched blackout curtains. There's a proposal for not necessarily how the windows would look, just through some artwork on there. I'd like to do some nice hand painted windows, something very simple. I'm getting older. I've been tattooing for a long time, so I tattoo less capacity than I used to. So I'd really only be open. I usually come in 2 to 7, particularly mostly by an appointment only basis. I'd like to be open to the general public, but like I said, I'm going to put blackout curtains in the front windows for additional privacy. So things won't be so visible from the street. I'll probably keep the door locked at most times during procedures, things like that.
So is it just going to be you?
For now, it is just me. It's not a very big space. I have a recent graduate, so I'm out in Oberlin now, a recent graduate of Oberlin University that I'm possibly taking on as an apprentice for training. So they would be shop help for now. I'm showing them the ropes, but me, possibly one other person, and then I would like to keep a station open for traveling guests and friends.
So it would be 3 total stations then?
Yes.
Okay. 3 stations. And so you're doing by appointment 2 to 7. What do you envision?
Is that every day?
The hours to be?
Tuesday through Saturday is what I work. I'd be closed on Sundays and Mondays.
Okay, so Tuesday through Saturday and 2 to 7 all the days, even when you have other people in?
Possibly noon to 7 if I get someone, because that's general shop hours. But
Okay.
I play hockey, and a lot of my hockey's in the morning.
Okay.
So,
All right. We need to have the hours.
For
and-
sure.
And as
Absolutely,
part of the motion. And we
absolutely,
want to make sure that they're inclusive enough for you,
for sure.
so you don't run into any.
No problem at all.
So
So yeah,
noon to 7 is what you want.
noon to 7 possibly, but for now it's 2 to 7. Yeah.
That's fine. You can have it shorter,
Yeah.
but we want to make sure you're covered.
Sure.
And Tuesday through Saturday is going to be good for you, even if you have extra people.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And are you going to stay by appointment only or take walk-ins?
I mean, I always say my appointments are preferred, walk-ins by chance.
Okay,
You know, I'd like to leave it open for that. You know, mostly it's stuff through social media, quite honestly. You know, and post online on like Instagram or something like that, that there's
Yeah.
time available and people grab the spots. That's how I do 99% of
so
my
kind of
business.
still kind of technically by appointment.
Yeah,
but then you open it
yeah,
up.
for sure, for sure.
Okay, all right. So you've been doing this 19 years. You're looking to have a maximum of 3 stations. We're gonna say Tuesday through Saturday are your hours and noon to 7 p.m. By appointments or by chance, sort of with the walk-ins. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
Do you have a back door or are people only coming in the front door?
There is a back door, but there are residents upstairs. So it's kind of like an enclosed stairwell.
So that's their access?
That's for their access. So it's mostly through the front door. And there's a back parking lot, but that's all for tenant parking for the apartments upstairs.
So the rear door would really be for egress and your main entry is really the front door?
Front door, yeah. And then
Okay.
street parking.
So you're not gonna
front.
have people coming in and then street parking?
No, yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other questions, board?
No.
Mr. Rulas?
We want to hear from.
Oh, yes, we do. I'm sorry, sir.
No, we're just here for information. Just kind of want to hear like, about him opening his shop, but we won't be speaking on behalf of our church. We're actually across the street from you guys.
Oh, the new place?
Okay.
And that's being renovated.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Look at this.
So
Oh, all
that's
right.
nice. Yeah, so
Okay,
we're just here for information, but we're not really speaking on behalf of the church.
okay,
Because we have a legal team and all that, so we'll be giving information. I won't be.
all right.
So you're the
So
church across the street and
Yeah.
then so you're the one need for the variance and then
Yeah, the Gillespie Chris, so yeah, that's all.
and then the playground, school, etc.
No, ours doesn't have a playground. It's just the one, we just had a gate, there's like a black gate.
Yeah.
That's just us. The
Yeah.
playground's probably a different, I think that.
Yeah, there are other
A
schools
little
in the
further,
area.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's like a charter school
Right.
where the old church used to be, kind of on the corner. And then
Mm-hmm.
there's one way back, I think towards Franklin.
Right.
So we're on Detroit, so there's another one on Franklin, like way behind.
Yeah, I know the city is discussing an update to tattoo shops and parlors in the zoning code, but currently as written, if you're near a school or a church, you need variance.
Right.
Ms. Kukla, do we have any correspondence on this?
No, we do not have any.
Okay, all right. We'll go back to you, Mr. Mullins.
Rich Mullins, City Planning. I'm sure the applicant can speak to the fact that, this business has changed drastically in the last 20 years that you've done it. And which is why we have the ordinance on the books that we have, and it was probably written even further back than 20 years ago. Because, tattoo parlors, back then, or really they're more like salons these days. They were a completely different entity, and it's just people were not as happy with, and they weren't as commonplace, and they, tattoos weren't as accepted as they are now. So we really don't agree that there needs to be those buffers from places that are in the code. So this is also this is a small space, so we're not talking about a high volume tattoo parlor. He's mostly going by appointment, some walk-ins. I like the idea of the blackout curtains in the front, so you can't even see what's going on in there. There's ample parking on the street there. I think there's metered parking right out front, so that's not an issue. So we have no objection. We would support this.
Great, thank you. Yeah, as Ms. Rogan noted, things are, in Mr. Rowland's, things are changing with regard to tattoo businesses, so much more mainstream than years ago.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then Mr. Bixler, I know you're on the call. Did you want to speak as well? Oh, he was raising your hand. You
Yeah, I think you're still muted, Mr. Bixler.
You're off mute now.
Okay, I am one of the owners of the building where the tattoo shop will be located. I also own a business directly adjacent to the east of the tattoo shop. And I just want to say that speaking to my customers and people in the neighborhood, I have found nobody who objected to having a tattoo shop. Many people feel that it'll blend well with the neighborhood, and we have no objection.
Super. Thank you, Mr. Bixler.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion, board.
I could do it. And hopefully the appellant, the owner, will get lots of customers from no class. So
And the hawk.
and the hawk, that's right. So having heard testimony from the business owner, the building owner, city planning, I move approval of calendar number 23-146 without any conditions.
I think we do want to state that, do we want to
The
add in
business
hours?
hours. So,
Yeah.
and we'll just, for the record, we have business hours as Tuesday through Saturday, noon to 7, appointments preferred, potentially walk-ins. And I think that was it in terms of my notes.
Right, and 3 stations.
3 stations, correct.
Right. That's it.
Board member Roca seconds the motion.
Thank you. Ms. Kukla?
Ms. Roebuck?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Yes.
Calendar 23-146 is granted. It'll be ratified next Monday. We'll send you a letter. Please feel free to contact our office on Wednesday to see if it's ready for you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you very
much.
Thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And sorry we couldn't take care of you the first time, but
As long as this is the end result.
Thank you very much.
all right.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Stop over there. I don't saw you out there.
Yeah.
Wash your head on this thing.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
The duct tape has now slowed down. All right.
I think we're back to the beginning.
We are, I'm just looking to see, it looks like we just have the 2. Ms. Holzer, we have 23-154 and 23-155 as a as a bundle.
Great, I can read them in together. So our next 2 cases are calendar number 23-154. This is at 2148 West 11th Street. Yeba LLC proposes to establish use as a massage and skin care studio in a B1 multifamily residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 2. We also have calendar number 23-155. This is at 2150 West 11th Street. Again, Yeba LLC proposes to establish use as a massage and skin care studio in a B1 multifamily residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, again, of which there are 2. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
All right, thank you. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, state your name and your address. I'll start with individuals on the phone. Is there anyone on the call? All right, doesn't appear that there is. Is there anyone in the room for this case? Come on up.
I think there is one, Donna had her hand raised.
Oh, okay. Donna, if you want to.
Yes. Good morning. I had my hand literally and virtually raised, so I guess that's where I'm at.
You've got it covered.
Good morning, Madam. Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the Board of Zoning Appeals. My name is Donna Gregonis. I'm the Neighborhood Development Director for, or Economic Development Director for Tremont West. And our address is 2406 Professor Avenue. Thank you.
Thanks. And go ahead, Julie.
Julie, I do, Julie Steigerwald. My address is 4302 Clinton Avenue, Cleveland.
I do. Sarah Jones, SARAH. Address is 2615 Chatham Avenue, 44113.
All right, I think that's everyone.
All right. History of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we didn't find much for the 2150 address. We found that for the 2140 address, there were alterations to dwellings, including a kitchen addition, a shed, and an addition in 1929. And then there are no variances on file and nothing of note really in the more recent history. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I have the legal standard, please?
Yes. Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance and an area variance from the parking requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that the granting of the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. So would you like to tell us what you'd like to do? All right, you're gonna be the spokesperson?
I can be the spokesperson.
Okay.
So I am the owner of the business, Bodhi Tree Massage and Skincare. And we are, we rent the units that we occupy from Yaba LLC, so I'm here representing them today. So 2148 West 11th Street is the big house that sits on West 11th. Bodhi Tree rents the downstairs front and downstairs rear apartment units. And what we're doing in those two units, we have 2 massage therapy treatment rooms in each of those units. So 2 treatment rooms in the downstairs front, 2 treatment rooms in the downstairs rear. 2150 West 11th is the cottage house or the middle house on the property. We began renting that about 1 year ago and have use in there with an additional treatment room. So that gives us a total of 5 massage therapy treatment rooms that we are utilizing there. When we first moved in and began renting, we were just in the downstairs front unit with the 2 treatment rooms. We had an opportunity to rent the rear apartment, took advantage of that, had an opportunity to rent the cottage, took advantage of that, so have expanded accordingly. Our closest neighbor is Annunciation Greek Orthodox Church in Tremont. Right next door to us is part of their parking lot. And again, for about the past year, we have been renting 10 parking spaces from Annunciation for use by both Bodhi Tree staff and clients. We are open 7 days a week. We are by appointment only. And our first appointment is at 10 a.m. During the week, Monday through Friday, we're ending between 7 and 7:30 p.m. On Saturdays and Sundays, we're ending our day at 5 p.m. Yeah, so we have 15 licensed massage therapists who work at Bodhi Tree as independent contractors. Some of those therapists are working 5 days a week. More of them are working 2 to 3 days or shifts per week. So the busiest we can possibly be is to have 5 therapists who are working on clients.
Okay.
We do have a part-time receptionist, someone who's there during the day and someone who's there for a shorter amount of time later in the afternoon. Most often, we do not have that amount of capacity going on. Usually the busiest we are is to have 4 therapists working at the same time on 4 clients. And then if our front desk person is there, that's 9 people throughout the 3 studios or units.
Are you doing just massage therapy?
So we're a staff of licensed massage therapists for massage therapy. We also have 3 individuals who are licensed estheticians providing skincare services, primarily facials.
So that's it for services?
Correct.
Okay. The agreement that you have with the church and the 10 parking spaces do you have that as a written agreement?
I don't have it as a written agreement. I have a verbal agreement with them. I do have some checks for the past 6 months to show that we've paid that parking lot rental. I reached out to the church secretary to try to come up with something. Unfortunately, didn't have that for today. But.
Typically in these situations, what we'll ask you to do is submit a written agreement for those parking spaces.
Sure.
And that would be a condition of approval or of us issuing the variance for you. Gotcha. So that would be something that you would submit to our secretary. Okay. 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 Donna, did you want to make a statement?
Yes, good morning. Donna Gorgonis, Tremont West Development Corporation. So I know that this project has been on the agenda, or at least in the works, for a few years, even prior to the pandemic. And the predecessors before me, such as Matt Moss and Khalid Hawthorne, both worked with the applicant and their architect to go through the correct avenues to get this zoned properly. You know, generally, I would say that we would be more cautious about homes being transformed into a business, but this is a very long-standing business in the neighborhood. We've never had any complaints about it. They've been a great neighbor, and we really want to encourage them to stay and grow in the neighborhood. And even though this hasn't gone before Economic Development Committee in the past few months, I can say that I believe that they would be in support as well. So I don't know, I'm just excited to see that they're formalizing their use and becoming more of a permanent staple in the neighborhood. So that's wonderful. Thanks.
Great, thanks. Yes, go ahead.
We did start the process before the pandemic, and then things just kind of got put on hold because of that. But at some point in 2020, we did meet with the CDC, and they were in favor of it, and also went before the Block Club, which was also in favor of it.
Pre-COVID, you went before the
Yes.
Block Club?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I think it was actually during COVID. I think it was in 2020.
Okay.
So, and Sarah did actually look at several other possible locations, and this has suited her needs the best.
Well, if it goes back to Khalid and Matt, if you've been long in the process on
Right.
this, so, yeah. So, okay.
Looks like Donna has her hand raised again, or was she just putting it down?
Sorry. Yeah, my button's sticking. Apologies for interrupting again. I just wanted to reiterate what the applicant said is that the neighborhood has largely been in favor of this in the past. And I can't see since then anything changing, to be honest. So.
Okay, great.
Sorry if I'm speaking on behalf of anyone in the neighborhood, but that's my understanding.
Okay, thank you, Donna. And how many years have you been in business now, did you say?
Since 2017.
Since 2017. Okay, so it does go back a ways. All
And-
right.
I'd just like to say that the nature of the business is very quiet. We don't want it to be, it's supposed to be a relaxing, serene atmosphere. And she's done a beautiful job with the interiors of the places. I'm sorry we don't have pictures of that. But really beautiful.
Yeah, I bet it does. So, great. All right.
Madam Chair, Maurice Rule, City Planning. Yeah, so normally we don't like commercial in, in residential neighborhoods. However, the location of this is right at the edge, close to the corner, the Loop Coffee Shop is right there. What used to be, I think it's closed now, Parallax, diagonally across the street. I'm very familiar with this area. It's kind of a very mixed use area, so this feels right. Right here, they have plenty of parking. There's a giant vacant, lot next to them. And of course, the nature of the business, like she said, like the applicant said, it's not gonna be a noisy business. It's a relaxing, massage therapy place. So yeah, we would recommend.
Great, thank you. All right. Anything else from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve calendar number 23-155 based on the testimony from the appellant, after hearing a comment from the city, and also from the CDC, noting that the Block Club is in favor of the property, or excuse me, the variances, and we have no objections from anyone. Also noting that the business will have 15 licensed massage therapists. Operating hours are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I move that we approve this calendar number on the condition that the appellant submit a written agreement for parking spaces at the adjacent church property.
Ms. Holzer?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
Great, thank you. Ms. Kukla?
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Calendar numbers 23-154 and 23-155 are granted conditionally. We'll hold ratification until we receive that parking letter. And once we receive it, we'll ratify the following Monday and draft send you a letter. Please feel free to contact our office if you have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Good luck.
much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Up to you.
And finally, we have calendar number 23-156.
All right. Our last case is calendar number 23-156. This is at 2020 Follette Court. Ken Kovash proposes to erect a 3-story frame single-family residence with attached garage in a D1 2-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 5, with a note that city planning approval is required. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Roca for the oath.
All right, I will start with those on the call. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give, bless you, is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, state your name and your address. Go ahead, Ms. Gregonis.
Good morning. I do. Donna Gregonis with Tremont West Development Corporation, 2406 Professor Avenue.
Great. Is there anyone else on the call? No? Okay, sir.
Good morning, Paul Began, Began Architectural Design, 15703 Madison.
I normally see you on the phone.
I know you do.
Is this your first
rare
in
to see you in
person since
person.
COVID?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, welcome.
It's good to be back, for sure. Although, of course, I picked coming back right after the parking lot fees went up, so I'm not excited about that.
Go ahead, sir. We'll finish up.
I do, Ken Kovash, I'm the homeowner, and my current address is 2075 West 25th Street.
Great, thank you. Your architect is a frequent flyer with us, so we have to catch up a little bit. Okay, history of the property?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The property was originally zoned multifamily in 1929. In 2018, it was changed to 2-family residential. In our Records Administration Office, we found in 1929 only that a porch was erected on the property. And then, Madam Chair, in 1963, a permit was issued to correct violations to a multifamily unit. Then in 1982, a permit was issued to demolish a 2-story, 2-family dwelling. And there's nothing of note in the more recent history and no variances on file. Thank you.
Madam Chair, did you get Donna sworn in? for this?
Yes.
Oh, you did, okay.
She went first. Because Ms. Roca always takes the people that are with us virtually first. She has a method. Okay. Legal standard, please.
Sure. Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting an area variance from the attached garage minimum lot width, maximum gross floor area, and required rear yard requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you so much. Okay. Mr. Beegan, are you going to be the spokesperson?
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair. Interesting little lot at the end of Follett Court, which is a little bit of an alley. I was actually interested to hear that 41 years ago that there was a house there that got demolished, so that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Ah, interesting.
We can't search our records back that far. I would have to stop in and look through the file cabinets. This house is only accessible from Follett Court, and it's going to be a single family house. It does have a front facing garage, so I know one of the variances is for, the garage is supposed to be in the back of the lot. It's only 30 feet wide as far as the width of the lot, so there's really not room to put a driveway to get to the back, to put the garage in the back of it. Honestly, some other townhouses that are directly across on Follett Court that kind of has a garage court right there as well too. So it's in character of what's happening with the rest of that particular part of the neighborhood on that street there. Other than that, the other variances requesting are very similar for a lot of the projects that we come in before you for, right? It's a small infill lot that we're putting housing back onto. We are keeping actually, strangely, with our side yard setbacks, which is not always the case. We were able to accommodate that with this particular house, but it's the area and garage. The height variance only or the side yard piece only related to the height of it, not for the actual required side yard setbacks.
Great. Anything to add?
No, just that I've lived in Duck Island for 10 years. I'm really excited about this house. Enjoyed working with Paul, and Paul can probably handle any questions.
What is the distance from the garage to the street?
I would have to go back and look exactly. I think we tried to.
Is it 18?
I was just looking at that, that's why.
Yeah.
The intent of that was so that if there was a car that needed to pull in and back out, that there's enough space there. There is not a sidewalk on Follett Court. I mean, again, it is really just an alley, a lot of backyards and back fences. Again, except for opposite, which I'm not really showing it on this site plan, there is a townhouse project that has a central motor court directly across from it.
So is it 18?
Yeah, you can see it right on the 18.
Okay.
This is 0 foot setback along there, so.
Okay. All right.
It-
And Follett is how wide?
14 feet.
14 feet.
It's narrow.
Yeah.
And one just context note, that section of Follett Court, right, where it like faces the driveway or hits the driveway, like there's no, it's the end of the like cul-de-sac or alley, that like there's no cars, there's no cars would ever like drive where you see that yellow line.
Yeah, no through traffic there.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Rillens. This is the most appropriate
Yeah,
picture you
perfect.
can see. Again, it's the end of Follett Court there. There's the townhouse project with the motor court directly opposite.
Right, right, okay.
So, yeah, you don't have the ability to put a garage back there.
Well, the lot's only 30 feet wide,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, Donna?
Good morning again. Donna Gregonis with Tremont West Development Corporation. I spoke to both Ken Kovash at length and Mr. Began as we've worked together on different projects with the community for a few years. I do know that there was an email, Secretary Kukla, that from Councilman McCormick where he requested a postponement for this case. I don't know that everyone was copied on it, but I was just revisiting it. So sorry to bring that up, but this has not gone through the community review process. The next block club meeting is the first week of Monday, or the first week of October, and I know that they would love to meet their neighbor if they already haven't met Mr. Kovash. I believe that this would be met with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, but I know that this part of the neighborhood is experiencing a lot of issues regarding parking and other kinds of infill. So they are, and the Economic Development Committee of Tremont West are very, cautious with this area. So I think they would like to hear from the neighbors, from the neighbor about this. And that's probably why they're not here present, because they didn't know this was probably coming today, since it was on the agenda after the most recent block club meeting. So thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair, we did receive that request from Councilman McCormick. He stated, as Ms. Bergonis stated, that it hasn't gone through a community process yet. There wasn't time for us to reschedule this because the email didn't come in advance. So I thought since they were coming in, we could get some testimony and then we can make the decision as to whether or not you want to postpone it.
Madam Chair, if I may too, again, we did, both of us speak with Ms. Gregonis. Once we received our zoning review notice, right? We also simultaneously, besides applying for the Board of Zoning Appeals, we also did send notice to Mr. Gregonis to get us scheduled to be on the next available community review meeting. So that's the complete intention of Mr. Kovash and myself, is to present before the block club with the Tremont Economic Development Community meeting. So.
Mr. Goddess, when exactly is the date for that?
Sorry, I have it here. I think it's October 4th. It'll be before the next Board of Zoning Appeals, I think.
Okay. Is that like a
Whatever.
Thursday?
I think a Tuesday.
Tuesday? They do Tuesday the 4th?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you anticipating any pushback on this?
I can't. I know that I did receive an email from a neighbor who was concerned about the requested variances. There were a bunch of emails going back and forth where the councilman was included. And I did state that these variances might be kind of standard for the most part, other than the front loaded garage, but given the site plan and that this is a single family home, I don't know that there will be, but I can't tell you because it hasn't gone through the process completely, but I've already been hearing a lot from neighbors about this, and some are excited, and I've heard from one of the immediate neighbors that he's like really concerned. Yeah, and I know the neighbors also have been under the impression that city planning is telling people they don't have to go to the community at all. And I know that that is not necessarily true. I know this is a 30-year tradition in the community, which has aided in the growth and redevelopment of the neighborhood. So just wanted to reiterate that as well. So thank you for your consideration, Secretary Kukla and members of the board.
Thank you. City planning, you want to chime in?
Sure, Madam Chair. Richmond City Planning. Well, just speaking to the variances themselves, these are pretty much standard variances in Fremont and Ohio City and a lot of other areas. As far as the garage and the, having the front loaded garage, it's a very tight, unusual, I'd call it unique site. And there's no way that you could get the parking in there any other way, front loading it. And plus where it's located, it doesn't really have street access like, somebody on a regular residential street. This is actually facing the side of the front of the building. The front of the house is really facing the side of another. And maybe you can see it in the pictures. You can actually see right there, the garage is going to be facing the side of another condo townhouse unit. So we have no problem with the front yard, with the front loaded garage. The minimum lot width, it's proposing 39.62, the minimum is 40. I mean, we approve lots under 40 feet in the city all the time. The standard area variance, of course. The only one that I wouldn't even say we have a problem with, the only one, other one is the rear yard, which we also have a lot of issues with. People just don't want rear yards anymore. And to tell you the truth, I don't think you could pull this any closer to Follett Court, right?
We could without having, and Mr. Govish and I talked a lot about that, it's really the back out from the garage, right? Could we move that house closer to Follett Court? Yes, but then when we're backing out of the garage, there's not adequate space to stop before you would have to back out into Follett Court before you would be able to see what's happening. So really yes, we could move it forward to relieve ourselves of the backyard variance, but I thought in this particular site and location, more appropriate to give the front yard that space for the vehicle access.
And I would definitely agree with that. That's why I did point out that it's weird, but there happens to be a 0-foot setback along Follett Court that we passed a while ago, probably to help with the townhomes. So they could build right up to Follett Court if they wanted, but obviously that would severely limit the maneuverability of the garage. And we just dealt with this on that alley off of West 54th.
That's the one that I'm thinking of,
Yes,
exactly.
So that here they're able to actually give the extra room, so I don't think it's gonna be too much of a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So we would recommend approval. As far as going to the local committee, I have no opinion on that. City Planning does not tell anybody that they don't have to go.
Right. Your plan was to attend.
Yes, and again, simultaneously, when you applied for our zoning variance, we did reach out to Tremont West to get scheduled on their next available meetings.
Okay.
And we'll plan to go regardless if you decide to make a motion today or not. We would still go before them.
One suggestion is you could also, make an action today and have the ratification contingent on.
That was
being
exactly my thought.
That it's right
Mr.
around the
Owens.
corner. Just a suggestion.
Exactly my thought. So
And Donna Gagonis has raised her hand.
Donna, yes, go ahead.
Sorry again. Just a question regarding the process for, if you were to make a motion today and ratify it in the future based on the community meeting. What if for some reason everyone in the community and all the contiguous neighbors, which I find very unlikely, but what if for some reason they all came out and said, dislike this project, or for whatever reason, would that make a difference on your motion?
Good question.
So from a process standpoint, I would say that if that did happen, in the unlikely event that that did happen, you'd come back to I think those comments could be brought back to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and we would probably ask that the applicant and Mr. Began come back and respond to the concerns of the neighborhood.
Exactly.
If it's that overwhelming, and then we would have a rehearing. But just trying to streamline things. If we don't need to come back, why not take care of it now? But they still will have the leverage of,
Right. And again, exactly my thinking, because I think given the constraints of this lot, the width, I think we want to err to the side of safety with the setback. I mean, there's a package of constraints. And so I think that would be the way to go here. We'll make it conditional. And, you know, should the community have an uproar about this, then we'll come back and we'll rehear things.
Did notice go out to all the immediate adjacent neighbors?
Correct.
Yes, they did, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
20 notices were sent out.
Right. And with the exception of the email from the councilman, you know, there's been no pushback on it.
From the 20 that were sent?
Yeah,
Okay.
so, but, to Ms. Gregonis's point, you know, we want to go through the process because it is the nature of this neighborhood. So, okay. All right, board, any further questions or comments?
No.
Okay, you're welcome, Ms. Gregonis. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve calendar number 23-156 based on the testimony from the appellant's architect and comment from the city. And I ask that we note that ratification will be held to give the appellant time to meet with the community.
Great. Ms. Holzer?
Board Member Holzer, I second.
Ms. Kukla?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Baroka?
Yes.
Ms. Page?
Yes.
Calendar number 23-156 is granted. To be ratified once we receive those notes that the community meeting was held. After you ratify it, we'll send you a letter, and please feel free to contact our office if you have any other questions.
Well, thank you very
Okay.
much. Appreciate it.
Great, good to see you.
Thank you.
Good luck with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're in good hands. Old business? We have number 2 and 3 without objection, board?
Without objection, I'm the only other person.
Ms. Holzer?
Ms. Holzer was not here for those.
Oh, that's true. And Alicia's not here today, so there we go. And that's it.
No, there's some miscellaneous.
There is a note, Madam Chair, the budget hearings are upon us again, and your presence has been requested at the October 10th preliminary meeting with the accounting people. It is an official meeting, it's just a more detailed process-oriented meeting. And they asked that the chair people be there. You're not required to do any presenting of anything, just be present for any questions.
All right.
We'll let you know the time of that when it gets closer.
What day of the week is that?
The 10th is a Tuesday.
A Tuesday. All right. All right. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Sounds good.
Okay, anything else?
That'll do it.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you, ladies. Who's gone next week?
Next week, I'm not gone next week. I'm gone the week of the.
Are we adjourned?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Motion to